What's going on, people? Daniel here, TheAKMindset, bringing you another episode from the Goated series. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. For my first pick, I'm going to be talking about Yona from Yona the Dawn. Peak shoujo, rivaled only by Fruits Basket. Watch/read both of them series. Promise you can't go wrong. If I'm putting it simply, yeah, Yona is a go. She's a go. Fantastically crafted, and I think she's the blueprint for how you want to write a strong female lead in your manga, story, whatever medium you're talking about. Probably my favorite character in the series, if I'm discounting Hack, he's a goat too, but the video not about him today. And when I was reading Yona of the Dawn, the progression we see from Yona from her base, from the start of the series to where she was at the end of my read through, it's something I had to recognize and respect, and it's one of the reasons why she rose on my favorite characters list of all time. I'm just talking about fiction in general. She just excels in a lot of areas where a lot of other female characters in manga and anime especially fall short. And if I was comparing her to like the big three product females in there, like she's just so clear of them. It's crazy. Like, she doesn't fall into generic romance tropes. Even though she falls in love, it's not like something that serves as like a crutch. In fact, it kind of boosts her character because of how honest she is, and then proactive she is in recognizing, yeah, I feel this way, but I'm gonna go beyond that. It's not gonna be something that where I'm acting shy or neat. Nah, I still have other parts of my character. And also, like, these shonen authors don't even have an excuse, because you can, if you read Twin Star Exorcist, you know you can have romance in your story and still do the boom boom pow battles, wars, whatever, man. So like, they have no excuse for having their female characters be over dominated by their romance arcs, whatever. But anyway, yeah, back to Yuna. She also achieves a good balance of physical feats, which are impressive and also realistic. So she's not doing anything that which breaks the series. It's not like retcon anything. She is performing well within her limits, and it just makes the series consistent and also boosts her up, because she's not just sitting on the sidelines doing support, which is it's not bad, but we kind of see that a bit too much, man. Also, emotional intelligence, she's very intelligent in that aspect, and she's able to attract a lot of allies towards her and generate meaningful character relationships between her and her cast members. And one of the points which I find quite relatable is her awareness of her weak points, which always are her points that she wants to improve, and she wants to not be a burden upon the group she's with. And this in turn conflicts with what her father wanted for her, which was to sit in the back seat kind of thing, take up a more pacifistic route where she's not engaging in violence, whereas she kind of has to engage to become stronger. So this is something which she's constantly battling through the series, and seeing her deal with that is something I really liked when I was doing my read through. Okay, I'm just going to describe Yuna as a character when she started, just so when I'm talking later you understand why, because the base is quite important when I'm talking about Yuna, because her base is basically her blanket. Before she goes through any growth, we see her where she's not really interacting with the world. So when she's interacting with the world, we see how she's molded by the story's event. So she starts off as a naive princess, and she doesn't know much about what happens outside the palace walls, and she's really just focused on becoming Su-won, who's another character in the series. She wants to be his wife. And then after the main event happens, I'm not going to spoil it in case people read the series. Read the series. She leaves the palace, and then she has to go through X, Y, and Z, which turns her into the individual we see in the current storyline. And later in the story, she turns into kind of like a Robin Hood, where she's leading kind of uprisings against the corrupt officials. She's giving back to the people, taking care of the people. And I feel like this was kind of her way of atoning for her years of ignorance, both on her part and her father's part. So I think that level of respect for her citizens and the way she cares for her citizens is something I liked, because she realized where, even though she wasn't directly contributing to their harm, she recognized that she still was in a position of power and influence where she should have been doing something. One point I like to make about Yuna and why I believe she deserves to be on this list is Her struggle to be strong and her desire to constantly be strong, improve and work on her flaws to not burden others, as I mentioned before. And this is something that is consistent throughout the series, from when she has picked up the bow and arrow to when she wants to start with the sword. So one moment I want to specifically say or mention is a moment from the Awa arc, which is quite early on in the series. I'd say it's like maybe within the first 40 chapters. So I'm going to put a spoiler warning here, just in case anybody hasn't read the series. So in this scenario, Yuna has been tasked with bringing back the Senju herb, which is this herb used for healing, and she must bring back this herb back to the pirates who she's trying to work with so that they accept her onto the crew and she proves her worth as a viable member. And she must do this without the help of her companions, and she must traverse quite a steep cliff edge where a single mistake will lead her to fall into the ocean and probably drown and die. And while she's traversing this cliff to reach the cove where the Senju herb is, she experiences a near miss where she almost falls and she begins to cry. And even though she is crying, she picks herself back up and continues while crying to traverse this cliff to reach this cove. And I think this moment resonated with me because even though she's experiencing a lot of fear, a lot of despair going through this trial, she is so convinced that she needs to improve upon this weakness, that she puts together the conviction to move forward and pass this trial by herself with no help. The conviction that she has to work hard, and that even though it's not easy, it's never easy to improve, but she's always trying to go through it. And that's just something that made me respect her as a person. And then my second point, strong will and conviction. In the main group, or the Dawn, she's surrounded by a lot of male characters who are quite strong, but I never really feel like she's been outshined. And even though the others may take up the spotlight in terms of strength, Yuna is very capable of holding her own when the time arrives. And the moments where Yuna really shines, like I was mentioning before, is where she is faced with injustice and where she needs to, I guess, emphasize her will. These panels where she is angry or she's emotional, sometimes I can't even articulate, but it's like the passion that you see in the eyes. It's like a fire, a raging fire. And the expression that she shows on her face, you have to see it on the page. You understand. It's like, I don't even want to go to One Piece, but you see, Conqueror's Haki. It's that kind of feel. That's the best way I can describe it. It gives you that kind of feel, like pure intimidation. And it's just crazy when you see her switch from just being nice and cute to this angry, just dominant force that he has even grown men on the road just from her looking at them. And those moments you see, it's just the eyes. You always see it in the eyes, and it's crazy. It's just pure conviction of just like, I'm gonna get you. You can't get away with this. Don't think you're getting away with this. It's just like, it's kind of even, it's kind of going back to her royal roots. It's like she's looking down at them just with the pure disgust. You see it in the emotion. She's really, the author's really good at conveying that through her art. That's when it's like peak. That's when the art's at its top. Yeah, I'm gonna summarize why. Actually, I'm gonna just end with a last point of why I believe she is goated. And I think mainly it's her relatability, the way I can relate to her. I can understand how it's hard to improve, reflecting on yourself, seeing where you're weak. And I like that she's aware, where she will be aware of her weakness, her ignorance. All of these things are in a way negatives, but they all serve to enhance her character and improve it. She's just a great character, to be honest. She's three-dimensional, man. Like, she's an inspiration, honestly. Like, she's a good character. It's not nice she's a female. She's just a good character. She's goated, yeah. But anyway, I think I talked for long enough here. So like the video, let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe, hit us up on the socials in the description, and catch you in the next one, I guess. Peace.